So that's where we've got this ginormous concrete section pipe going in, which will take all the weight of everything that's going to go on above it, as well as servicing all the water that could possibly be coming this way down the site. Because what we wouldn't want to do is basically reduce or reflect the fuck's sake. Reduce or reflect. You fucking idiot! Good afternoon. So we are back on the big site now. As you know, we have been away at my house, my farm, and with the man of acreage. So it's been a week or two since we've had a proper catch up and a look at what's been going on down on the big site. But sun is out, it's been out for a few days, the clay is drying up nicely, and that has been layered in to create the road, which we'll turn around and have a look at in a second. And then what we're doing at this end now is this is where the connection will be to the main road, so that is Western Way, and we're going to connect to that. Now we can't do the last part of the connection, that's down to the contractor that's going to do all the surfacing as well. What we can do is all the proprietary works on site, with drainage, with water, with trenching, with bits and bobs that we need to do, including the radiuses on each corner. So I'll start with this massive blue pipe. So the mains water presently is in the road, and this massive blue pipe here is not to service all the other units, it's actually to service the fire hydrant that is part of the process we have to put in. In any new development, you've got to have a fire hydrant that the fire engine can connect to, which wherever it's located, it'll be strategically placed that it will service a 100-metre radius of where that point is. So we put this ginormous great pipe in, which will be connected then to the mains in the road. It'll run up the side of our road, or underneath our road here, should I say, and then at the top outside the building for our customer, in the curb, we'll have the fire hydrant point, which will then service effectively Trent's building, which is behind you, the Trent 2 building that we're going to be working on shortly, and the building for our customer, and possibly a ruck on this side when we finally come to develop that. So that is the blue pipe that is in there. The other thing to look at is these ginormous drainage pipes. These are concrete section 600mm wide pipes. So this is effectively the swale that on Western Way is taking all of the surface water of everything else that way. So it's taking Trent, it's taking Fowler and Gilbert site and the other sites beyond, and all that water basically works its way down through this swale all the way to the bottom. And there was an attenuation pond set up and put in there for this swale before we come along, and then ultimately through the attenuation pond it goes underneath the main road to the far end of the town, away it goes. So what we've had to do now is, because we're obviously bringing the new road in here, they've given us permission to pipe this swale. So that's where we've got this ginormous concrete section pipe going in, which will take all the weight of everything that's going to go on above it, as well as servicing all the water that could possibly be coming this way down the site. Because what we wouldn't want to do is reduce or restrict the flow of water coming down this swale. This is the size and shape of pipe reinforced that has been spec'd by the engineer. So what the aim is here is we level out the bottom of the ditch, so we take all of that silt rubbish away from the bottom of the ditch. We then put a bed of pea gravel in, we sit these pipes on, we pea gravel round them, and then obviously we can start layering in the stone on the top to get us at the right level. Now, just bear in mind here, I'm stood on the 600mm high pipe, so ultimately I'm about a metre higher than the bottom point of the ditch by the time you take the sidewalls of the pipe and the pea gravel into consideration, and then the road itself is probably where my hand is. So there's a fair amount of fill basically that we've got to put in here to get this right. But like I say, at the moment we get this in, we've got that water pipe in, and then we've got the blue alkathene pipe, which is the new water supply then to the 3 number units. So we've got the unit for our customer that we're feeding with it, we've got Trent 2's building, and at the moment Trent's original building is being fed or backfed from Fowler and Gilbert supply, and obviously we want that to be standalone. So that's going to be the 3rd supply that's coming in down the new trench in the road. So have a look at that. And water pipes, there's only 2 in there at present because we're just waiting for the other one to turn up, and we're also waiting for the sand, so we've just put them in presently, but they'll go along the bottom of the ditch on a bed of sand. There'll be 3 pipes that are spaced roughly 150 apart in each pipe, and then obviously sand will layer the top back over, and then we'll backfill with the clay. This is the road. It's all come in quite nicely now, and when we've built it, or built the clay layers up, we have built it effectively on a slope. So any water that is coming on is ultimately going straight off. It's not sat on the top, it's not causing any issues. And then when we come to put the final layers on, basically we'll build that final side up, bring it flat, and then that's when we'll start layering the stone in. We've had delivery now of all of the pipe, all the twin wall. We've got all the rings, we've got all the biscuits. These are the biggest rings I have seen yet. And basically what some of these are, so we've got, they're the biscuits, so they're the lids that effectively sit on the top of these rings, and then that's where you build your manhole cover that you would see from the surface of your car park or whatever on the top. But ultimately, these ginormous rings, the normal size rings, they're all to create like catchment chambers and things like that, or junction boxes where all the different drainage are coming into one point. So some of them will be for poo, some of them will be for surface water. The last time we were here, I think the oil separator tank was going in, so that's in and pretty much concreted up now. And then there's just an immense amount of work that goes on surrounding that, with everything flowing in, to, from, away, you name it, it's all starting to go in. So I'm not even going to begin to describe what goes where, because without Dave's plans, I have got no idea. The last thing on the list is the customer's building. It's all pretty much coming together nicely, with the exception of the inside. We're still at a standstill because we still haven't had confirmation on these staircases and fire corridors and exactly what we do and do not need to do from a footing point of view or not. Because we can't concrete the floors until the footings are in, if they're required, or if they're not required, then we don't want to spend the money on doing that. So desperately waiting for an answer, because we're supposed to hand this over in not that far in the future, but obviously we're not going to be able to hand that over until we've got floors poured, and we can't do the internal works then until the floors are in. So desperately need an answer on that. But apart from that, everything else is pretty much done. The awkward end over there where we had to put the cladding on against or close to our Fowler and Gilbert building there, we've taken the fence line in, we've flattened the ground off, we've taken a special sort of cherry picker in there to clad that. That's all done. All of the flashing work is pretty much done, which I'll show you some of in the next time we're here, and we'll have a closer look at what's going on in this building. But apart from that, it is all coming together. We're just desperate for this answer on the design of how we're doing it. So that's it for the big site. If you like what you've seen, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll catch you guys next time and leave you with a big site montage. Boom.
Mr. GQ.